no matter what you're going through, just keep on praying and know that Jesus Christ is intentional.
He's intentional, Jesus, the intellectual. Everything he does, it has a point just like a decimal. If you don't know about him, I suggest you come and meet him. He won't come into your life unless the feeling is consensual. He loves you with the greatest love. He came to earth from up above to die upon the cross. He came to free you when he shed his blood. He took the place of you and me. Barabbas, man, they freed a thug and put him in his place. And then they beat him like a dusty rug. They beat this man with 40 lashes, ripped his flesh and left him gashes, nailed him to the cross and then presented him unto the masses. Yet he did it willingly and paid the price like we pay taxes. Did it so that you and me can hang with him in heaven's mansion. Still we walk around with hateful hearts, not giving second chances. Then we in the sanctuary praising God and doing dances, looking like a hypocrite, just speaking with a phony accent. God is not an idiot, he sees the truth, he knows your heart. You cannot pull a fast one. He's got 20/20 in the dark. Have you been acting foolish? It's okay, but just stop acting phony. Man up to your issues and submit to Christ, the one and only. Show him that you're ready, stand up firm and proud just like a trophy. All that he has done for us, he walked the path so dark and lonely, died up on the cross and it is finished, cause he had a mission. He knew what he had to do when he came down from the beginning. He's intentional, they didn't kill him cause the man was willing.
God bless you guys. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. I really pray, hope you enjoyed that song, Intentional by Travis Greene, with the little Christian rap flip on it. It's a powerful song, on its own. But I just had to add my little piece, and I hope it touched you. You know what I mean? God is intentional. It's very true. He knew. I think it's Jeremiah that talks about, he knew you before you was born. He had a plan for you before you was even born. A lot of us don't realize, the Bible talks about how he knows the number of hairs on our head. Jesus was talking about that if he feeds the birds in the sky, how much more would he take care of us? A lot of us, we forget that. We don't realize that this man came down from heaven in the form of a man, took on a fleshly body with fleshly organs, with fleshly emotions, with feeling pain, and died on a cross willingly. You know what I mean? This man, like I say at the end, he wasn't murdered, man. He was willing. You know what I mean? He knew it. He walked his way into it because he saw the bigger picture. And that's what we need to do. We need to humble ourselves and see the bigger picture and know that God is intentional and that he loves us, and that no matter what we're going through, he's going to be there for us. You know what I mean? Regardless of our situation, if it may look grim, there's always light on the other side. You know what I mean? And we're just passing through. You know what I mean? Like our reward is at the end. When we get to heaven and we're in, heaven's mansions. You know what I mean? That's where it's at. Right now, we're supposed to be at work. You know what I mean? So we need to recognize that Jesus Christ is intentional, and we need to put in that work, and we need to get a relationship so that when we show others about him, you know what I mean, that we have that relationship so that it's real. You know what I mean? A lot of times we're told, that we need to act a certain way. And my thing is, no, let it be genuine. Why aren't we acting a certain way? You know what I mean? I talked about Mary Magdalene. She wiped Jesus' feet with her hair and anointed his feet with oil. Why? Because she understood how wretched she was. She understood the life she was living. And to be saved by this man, to be taken under his wing, to be loved, to be given a second chance, to be forgiven of her sins, was mind blowing because she knew she wasn't deserving of it. You know, bring it down to the world. Have you ever, had somebody pay it forward and buy you a Starbucks or something like that? It feels weird because it's like, man, I didn't do nothing for you. You know what I mean? We always think that we gotta earn something. That you know what I mean? Like, why you doing this for me? Especially a stranger. Family, that's one thing. But I've had it done to me. And it feels a little funky. You know what I mean? And it's just because we're so prideful in that way, and we don't realize that like hey, love has nothing to do with deserving something. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? If you really love like your spouse, you know what I mean? You just love her. You know what I mean? Like me and my wife share a quick testimony if you guys don't mind. um, I have been married twice. My first wife passed away, unfortunately, at a very young age. She had kidney cancer. And yes, I got very angry with God, frustrated. Early 20s, she was amazing to me, and she just blessed my heart. Well, I went into a pretty bad depression. I was angry. I didn't really, I didn't know what to do. And then after only a short period, I started trying to date again because there was a void. You know what I mean? I was so blessed that I was like, man, like I I feel so empty right now, and I was trying to find like that missing puzzle piece again. I don't know if you ever tried to force a puzzle piece where it don't belong. It don't work. If it you know what I mean? A puzzle piece supposed to sink in there and just you know what I mean. It just feels so perfect, so good. You know what I mean? Because it belongs there. Well, I would date different women, and it just didn't work out. There was even one that I strung along for a little while, just trying to force it, because I was getting frustrated already from the dating and whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna make this one work because I know I can't be alone. I suck at that. You know what I mean? So, and I'm tired of dating, so I'm gonna make this one work, right? And it didn't work out. I realized. I remember one time we was going down the bay or whatever it was, and she saw a stroller with two those double jogging strollers, right? And then she was like, "Man, Ray, wouldn't that be crazy if we had twins?" And I was like, "Whoa, like I'm not even thinking about kids. Like, why would you even say something like that?" You know what I mean? And I realized, like, man, I'm stringing this girl along, and it's not right. And I remember I let her go, and we parted ways. And I remember being frustrated again, like, God, why are you doing this to me? You know what I mean? You took a good woman from me. You won't let me find anything close, anything that fits to fill that void. What's the deal? And I remember being in my car frustrated one day, and I told God, I said, you know what, man? If you want me to be alone, I'm done. I accept it. It's over. I don't care anymore, right? And that was my prayer. I'm done. Forget it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And that's it. And I submitted. I surrendered. That's another thing that we need to learn, to submit to Christ, which is hard. It's hard. It's hard. We're selfish by nature. We're prideful. But I at that moment I let it go. I stopped trying to date. Well, 2 weeks passed, and I ended up going to a little spot to get some lunch, a spot that I frequented. But usually I was with a couple friends of mine, and we would hang out. And there was a young lady at the cash register that I would say hello, wave from time to time, but that was the extent of it, because I was always with my buddies and all that. So, um, I'm talking to my guys and all that. So it was just, hey, how you doing? Well, this particular day I came from work, and I was just gonna get some takeout, and she was at the counter, and I ordered my food or whatever, and I started talking to her. I was by myself this time. My boys weren't around, so I just started talking, and this particular day, they just happened to be having problems in the kitchen, and they were taking just a little bit longer with my food, and I'm like, what's going on? So it got to the point where I started feeling so comfortable that I shared with her the passing of my wife, and then she told me that she had lost her husband, and she was a single mom for like 5 years. And I was like, oh my goodness, wow. So you understand my situation. And right there we had a connection. Um, and you know, long story short, we started dating, um, and we actually got married a couple months after, which is insane. Nobody thought we was gonna work out. Not only are we a little different, you know, she's Mexican, I'm Puerto Rican. We got different, a little bit different backgrounds. People think because you know Hispanic is the same or whatever, but that's not true. That's really not true. But that's besides the point. But I had a, you know, with stereotypes and all that, I kind of had a bad reputation in the family's eyes and all that, because they didn't know much about Puerto Rican culture and all that. Only the stuff that's not very flattering, which most it's true. A lot of the unflattering stuff is very true, which is another thing. I'm not trying to get off topic, but what we need to understand is culture. So when I got kind of judged for being, you know, he's gonna be a womanizer or whatever, which is what Puerto Ricans are known for, unfortunately, and a lot of the times it's true. I didn't, as much as it bothered me, I understood, because all they know of is what they've heard. And why do you think stereotypes come to become stereotypes? Because it happens so many times that people tend to think of, oh man, they all like that. And guess what? We all come from the same culture. So, you know, a lot of this stuff is not a race issue. It's a culture thing. You know what I mean? Like, if Puerto Ricans are known to be womanizers and I'm part of that culture, I'm going to grow up thinking that womanizing is not that big a deal, right? It's a cultural thing. You know what I mean? So when I realized, like, man, hey, that's a stereotype. It is what it is. And then I started showing them that that wasn't who I was, and I separated myself from the culture, from that negative. They saw that I was a decent individual. I ain't perfect, but I'm a decent individual. And I was able to form that bond. And now me and my wife are, you know, man, 2012, we're going on 9 years, you know, and God's been good. You know, we got married 2 months in. It wasn't supposed to work out according to, you know, according to the world standards. You're supposed to, you know, and any therapist or psychiatrist is going to tell you, you know, 2 months, hold on, man, pump the brakes. That's probably not smart. Yeah, and you got out of, you know, you got some trauma. You know what I mean? You lost a good woman. You know what I mean? Like, you lost a good man, or, you know, a man to you know, don't do it, right? But we did it. Why? Because we knew that God was involved, right? And when God's involved, he's intentional. You know what I mean? And things are going to work. Things are going to work the way they're going to work. You know, and 9 years later, man, I'm blessed, and God is still moving. We have our ups and downs, but I see how God, and here's the power hit. It wasn't until I submitted in that car and said, God, I'm done trying to fix this on my own. It wasn't until then that he came and took over. You know what I mean? Like I say in the track, he's not going to come unless the feeling is consensual. You know what I mean? Like, he wants to be there. He wants to work with you. He wants to have that connection, but it's like, I'm not going to force my way into your, you know, to your life. I'm not going to do that. You got to let me in, and then I got you. You know what I mean? So think about that. Are we going through things because we're taking too much control and we're not letting him come into our life? You know, is he trying to help us out? You know what I mean? You got to think of, even if you have like family that you want to help out, but they don't want to help themselves. What do you end up doing? You end up enabling. You ain't helping anybody, right? So it's like, I'm not going to come and just, you know, I'm not going to do anything, because you have to surrender, submit, and let me and come to the realization that, you know, we need him, right? I need to come to that realization sometimes. You know, there's a lot of times that I put my foot in my mouth and I do things that I shouldn't have done. That's the power of repentance. You can always get another chance, but it starts with recognizing, you know, and repenting and submitting. You know what I mean? Those are the keys right there. So with that all being said, I hope this video bless you. And, you know, love you guys very much. God bless. And just keep on pressing forward. And remember, he's intentional. All right? God bless.